All right, hello, welcome. Today we're going to be playing the first match of the Metroid Prime Randomizer tournament. I'd like to welcome y'all. Our players today are going to be MrMiguel and apparently GDQ. No, Jhava. MrMiguel is seated sort of middle of the pack. He has seed 16, and Java is kind of. I don't know. If you've seen Java play, it's that he's seed 35, but I don't think I've seen him actually play. Is that just because he doesn't have like a tournament history, or
Not tournament history. I have seen and played some races with him before.
what do you think of him? Because Mr. Miguel is kind of a known quantity. I've seen him play a few times. He's pretty good.
Yes, Miguel is a very iconic player, to be sure.
Yeah.
Done a lot for Echoes and Corruption, but it's also a really avid and really strong Prime player. It's a lesser known, I suppose, since Echoes and Corruption
Yeah.
is
He's
bread
not like
and butter.
a tier player. He's definitely more of an Echoes player. I believe Bash is also in this tournament. Kind of the same deal with him. But yeah, some of our more veteran Prime players like Cosmonaut are definitely going to be a little bit above him in my sort of internal ranking. And well, for those unfamiliar, we're going to be playing the Metroid Prime randomizers. I'm just going to explain what that is, since there might be some people who don't really have much exposure to it. The basic premise is that the items in the game, the upgrades that you get, are scattered around randomly. It's not a major minor, so they can be anywhere, but there is logic to make sure that the seed's completable. At
Yep.
a minimum, our players are going to need to find all 6 artifacts and the Phazon suit if they want to complete the game. There's also going to be a lot of other upgrades they're looking for. Those are going to be pretty necessary as well.
Yep.
And that's really sort of the basic premise. Our runners today have agreed to a few settings changes. The settings for this week's uh, preset are pretty standard. We're starting at landing site, no random elevators. The only special starting item is the charge beam. But our
Yep.
runners have agreed to enable Spring Ball, which is something that's normally only available in Trilogy. But there's sort of like a patch that you can apply to the original Prime release to enable Spring Ball. So they've decided to add that in. Spring Ball will only be enabled once they get the bombs.
Yes. It's mainly there for a quality of life. However, I do believe there are some ways you can cheese it to do some stuff that's unintended. I'm not sure if that's allowed or whether or
Oh no,
not
no, no, that's
I'm aware of
completely
that.
allowed. You're allowed to
Okay.
do basically anything. The only things you're not allowed to do is stuff like, I don't know if load delay is a thing in Prime 1. I don't think it
It
is.
is.
Well, I guess
It
it's
most certainly is. It is not allowed.
yes, and it's also not allowed to use infinite speed. Our runners have not agreed to allow that, so doing so is banned. They
Yes,
are
it
allowed
is
to go out
lawful.
of bounds, and they are allowed to use any other trick or glitch that they want to. So things like, in fact, they're logically expected to use a few basic tricks. Most notably, we have bomb jumps, gravityless underwater, slope jumps, general knowledge, and standable terrain. Those are going to be expected from our players at least a beginner level. Randomania, which is the program that we use to generate the random seeds, has a really comprehensive trick difficulty system. So instead of just enabling each individual instance of a trick or enabling all of the trick at once, we actually have sort of a tiered difficulty system. So for these sort of tricks that we're enabling, we only enable the beginner level tricks as defined in the logic database. So they're going to be expected to do a lot of different things, but most of them are going to be things that you could probably do at home pretty easily with just a bit of practice.
Yep. It'll just take a bit. Namely, space jump first and some very everyday standables that you tend to see. Especially some like ruined shrine, standable, ruined fountain, maybe. Stuff like that.
Mr. Miguel going into the concept art. I don't think that's probably the right time to do this. We're about to go live, or
Yep.
we're about to start rather.
Also, I haven't seen this new SpeedGaming tournament overlay. I quite like it.
Yeah, it looks really nice. They get a new one out every year. It feels like. This one has like the pirate.
Yes, we have the Mega Pirate cutscene in the background. Really nice.
Yeah, I like the little trim that they have around the UI. That looks really, really nice.
It's very clean, very
Also,
reminiscent of the pause menu overlay.
also be sure to mark charge beam since we're going to be starting with that right out the gate.
Yes, we do have charge name.
Yes. I think I mentioned weeks before, how there are going to be different presets for each week. We're starting with the odd weekly settings, which, like I said, is very much the most basic standard. After that, we're going to have the even weekly settings, which are pretty similar, but beyond that, we're going to have some real interesting presets. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those?
Yes, I'd love to. So for the third week, after our even weekly, we have door randomizer, which essentially just think of it as odd weekly, but all the doors will be shuffled to different colors, but we also have numerous different blast shields, which can be damaged by either power bombs, super missiles, wave buster, flamethrower, or ice spreader, or yeah, I mentioned supers.
Yeah, from what I
So
remember, that's a
those.
pretty new feature.
Somewhat. I believe it
The
came
door
out-
itself, the doors itself, pretty old, but the randomizer incorporating that, I remember that being kind of recent.
Yeah. But past door window, we will have our fourth week settings, which is, I believe it's a fighting chance, which think
Yeah.
of it as like all your starting rooms are going to be either boss fight rooms or mini boss fight rooms, and you start with 3 or 4 starting items in order to make other more dangerous starting rooms more available. One thing that is interesting to me, however, about that is that we can start at the Parasite Queen boss fight room, which is quite cool. Also, on a side note, our race has gone underway.
Yeah, we're
Good
starting
luck,
now.
have fun, shenanigans. But yeah, past fourth week, we have the fifth week, which is called Major Minor Open World. And that essentially means all major locations, something with like, let's say, a wave buster is a major, spaceship is a major. Any vanilla item location that houses that means that it will have to be a major item or another important item. And all the doors are also blue. No.
I don't see where Java's a timer is. Let me see if I can't resolve that.
There may not be one. Also, immediate grapple beam. Great. Yeah, okay, Java does not have a timer. That's no worries. I can relate to that.
Alright, so we'll actually be a slight bit out of sync, but as long as we have either the footage or the stream uninterrupted, we can tell who won pretty easily.
Yep.
That shouldn't be a huge problem, although in future he will want to rectify that and get live split installed. It's not too much of a process, thankfully. Sometimes it can take a while if you want to set up a fancy theme.
Yes.
And I see we got Gravity in, I assume Space Jump first. That was in Alcove?
Yes, grapple beam and alcove.
Sorry, Grapple. I might have said Gravity by mistake.
No worries. Yes, gravity beam. Anyways, before things get too hectic, I'd just like to mention the final week setting, which is Armory Hunt, which is an interesting one where we have all our movement tools, such as Morph Ball, Base Jump, and Grapple Beam. Speaking
Oh,
of
that's the
there's a
Morph Ball in
Ledge.
Ledge.
Right. And Armory Hunt will have you just essentially getting all your items that you need to finish the game, but having all your movement options up front immediately, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. From what I gather, it's you have every item that isn't a weapon. And there's also one really interesting thing, is that the missiles aren't spread out. You just get one missile launcher and it has all your missiles in it. Everything else is just 0 missiles. You don't get any expansions.
That's right. That also
Which is really
extends to the
interesting.
power bombs as well.
Yes. We're gonna see what we get on Hive Totem real quick here. Oh, that's
There's
Space
Space
Jump.
Jump.
So it's gonna
Nice.
give us our Morph Ball in a second here.
Right.
It's a
we
pretty
don't
easy
have
jump you
any-
can make from the tree.
Right, so we just have to take the way back.
Missiles are also going to be obtainable with a slope jump on the ramp. Or on the half-life, rather. There was a missile expansion there.
Yes.
And launcher is not required for odd weekly settings.
Nope. We do not have a setting like that currently. However, that's a nice sketch. I'm going to replicate that. But there is a way you can make it so missile launcher is quote-unquote required, where you only shuffle one missile, which is probably going to be the missile launcher, and all your expansions just don't exist. Pretty interesting. So yeah, we're definitely going to cop this Morph Ball, maybe take a peek at Vault real quick, grab that missile. I'd say do Ruined Shrine, get your early checks done early. We're just going to go straight to the missile, fair enough.
Java, maybe a little bit inexperienced with the Hive Totem dash. That's understandable. This one takes a bit of practice to get. It's not nearly as easy as Space Jump First, at least in my opinion.
Yes.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He hits the fight trigger.
Looks
So
like he
now
may
he's
just
going to
be
have to
fighting
do
it.
Hive Totem.
He may be opting to do the dash skip, but that one is harder than getting Hive Totem normally, I'd say.
Yeah, that's... I don't think we're going to be seeing that.
Yeah, it's been a moment since we've seen Hive Totem have a fight. It's probably quite excited.
I think there was a nothing at the top of Ruined Shrine and just a missile expansion in the actual...
That was a nothing, I believe. But yeah, probably just now get through our Chozo checks. Interesting. Oh, okay. Going to be committing to transport access north. This seems like a weird play to me because you would want to come back here after you have boost or bombs to deal with Ruin Gallery.
Yeah, you would really want to be able to get the tunnel item in Ruined Gallery. There's a little morph tunnel on the right side of the room here.
Also this check. System missile.
You can get, the Ruined Gallery wall, but the tunnel there, which he's looking at right now, is not going to be accessible yet.
Yep.
Jhava does finish the fight and gets his face back.
Let's see if this was actually worth. If not, then it's going to be pretty tough to come back from that.
That's one of our artifacts. Oh boy. We did not get the artifact hints earlier because we didn't get missiles very early. But later on, we'll be able to go back to Artifact Temple and grab our artifact hints, which are going to tell us where all the artifacts are. I mentioned that we need to get 6 artifacts to complete the game, and the phase zones too. Our artifacts, those are going to be hinted to us, so we're going to know where they are after we read our hints, which is not going to take very long at all. But the phase-on suit is kind of a wild card. There is a hint for it, but we can't get it until we already have all 6 artifacts. So you really, really want to avoid that if you can. Oh, MrMiguel warping to start here. I like this play. I like this play, because now we go to Artifact Temple, and we get that item out of the way right now. And we can also get the item at the... what's the room before that? Elevator to Magmore? Transport Tunnel A?
The one to Magmore?
Yeah. In Talon.
That is Transport Tunnel B.
Ah, I got it wrong.
There's a lot of transport tunnels, and they seem to be big.
There's a lot of tunnels.
Differentiating them with letters.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track of. We're also going to be getting frigate items.
Well, I think the routing could have been a little bit better. I would have delayed transport access north and Ruin Gallery as much as possible, because bombs, if you have bombs in there, you'll need to leave Ruin Gallery tunnel alone, which can really suck. I can definitely testify to it. Screw me over.
At the same time, though, yeah, you can absolutely get bullied by it quite a bit. Jhava does go out of his way to grab the energy tank there on the grapple ledge.
Always a good idea.
Yeah, it never hurts, really. There's a lot of dangerous stuff in Prime, and especially since we don't have any suits yet, we're not going to be getting a lot of damage reduction.
I think, personally, what I would have done is I would have done the normal sort of mid-Chozo checks, and then if I didn't find progression, I would have warped to start.
Again, I'll be honest, I disagree with you here. I really do like what MrMiguel did. I thought that routing was pretty slick. Now, maybe this will suck if we have to go back to Charizard when we don't find anything. Ooh, missile expansion in Artifact Temple. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. Also, it is worth noting, Jhava actually didn't use a warp to start. He just took the elevator back down. Which I think is kind of interesting.
Don't want to underestimate the power of the warp to start. Alright, I'm not sure whether Miguel is more so inclined to read artifact hints immediately or delay them. I'm a fan of delaying them until I have a certain amount of items, so that way I can actually, go to where the artifacts are.
That said, reading artifact hints can be a little helpful, because if you know an item that's maybe in the early game is an artifact, you can say, okay, I'm not going to go there until later, because I know that's not going to have my progression. Sometimes you'll see players read early for that kind of benefit, but yeah, a lot of our players prefer to read things a bit later, which is understandable.
It's a pretty 50-50 split, in my opinion. At least in my experience. But speaking of which, now, Security Cave, Transport Access, that is Required Plasma.
Alright.
2 Farfan artifacts.
Hydro Access Tunnel.
Okay, nice.
Okay, we're going to need either the Boost Ball or the Gravity. Fiery Shores, that's easy. Quarantine
Human.
Monitor. That's
Not
gonna... We already have Grapple, so that's pretty much in the bag.
It's not that bad. Hydro Access Tunnel might be a little weird to route in.
Yeah, these are
Depending on what
pretty
boost you route
generous
in.
artifacts. That said, we still have a lot of variables up in the air. We don't have any beams, we don't have any suits, and we still don't have our Morph Ball bombs either.
Yes, although I feel like we will find that very shortly.
Bombs tends to be pretty early, but you can be surprised. It can be
yeah.
really nasty on some suits. I remember a scene where, and this was in the 2021 tournament, pretty early on, where there was bombs on Flagra, which was hilarious. We're going to be seeing MrMiguel go up these invisible platforms. You can see the first few just by watching where the raindrops fall, but after that, they're kind of hard to see. We're also going to be doing a little secret world to go grab the item behind this plasma door. Yeah, Samuel's right, this is out of logic, but we can grab this early. A lot of our runners will opt to do this, since it's really uncommon to have plasma super early, so it's best to just get this taken care of.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying to route in later on. We may have overshot the jump a bit. There we go.
E-Tank. That's pretty nice, though.
We should note that climbing up here at all is out of logic until we grab X-Ray.
Yes, there are some levels
really
where invisible objects... If we had invisible objects on as one of our tricks, we would be expected to do that, but we do not.
Yeah, it looks like the routing I mentioned where just committing too early, or just sort of mid-chozo early on, would have helped. Oop, accidentally overshot that dash.
It looks like you were actually right on that call. I like the decision making on Miguel, but for this seed, it's not going to work out in his favor at all.
Really?
At least not as well as it could have.
Yep.
Yes, Vita Emerald, this is the first race of the tournament. So it's really fantastic to be here to inaugurate the tournament. I think I should have mentioned the tournament format earlier. I should mention we're not doing a bracket for stage 1. We're actually doing a Swiss. So that means that no matter who loses here, they're both going to be able to play a lot more games. The idea of a Swiss is that we give everybody sort of an equal number of games, and we try and put the people who score the highest in those games, and we put them into the bracket for stage 2. Miguel's going to be doing a trick here to clip his camera into the tree. Sees that it's a nothing, so we're not going to come back for that.
It's good to get that out of the way.
Yes. Positioning is a little bit precise, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too tricky. And what was that? Was that a... I would have almost said that was a beam ammo expansion, but this is fine.
Yeah, that's actually what I saw too.
Yeah. It has similar colors to the E-Tank.
Boost ball.
Oh, boost ball! That would make sense, because the particles sort of match up.
Yeah. Well, as soon as we get Spider, we know where we're grabbing.
That is going to be a real treat. Boost ball lets you go really, really fast. Very, very good utility.
Yes. It also is really bad if you don't have it for early, because that fight becomes a slog if you don't have it.
Yes, for those who are unaware, Ridley has an accidental weakness to Boost Ball. You see, the thing about Boost Ball is that most enemies either die to it immediately or are unaffected at all. And normally that's not a big deal, because the enemies that die to it are like really tiny things, like, you know, a zoomer or whatever. But for some reason, a programmer forgot to make it so that Meta Ridley was immune to the Boost Ball's instant death attack. So if you attack Meta Ridley, it will immediately lose a ton of health. It won't completely finish it off, but it will come pretty close. I think it does something like 100,000 damage per frame, something ridiculous like that.
Like that. But let's not forget to mention here that Spider Ball and Dynamo by far. Oh my God, what was that damage boost? But yeah, the Spider Ball application is extremely convenient for us.
More ball bombs.
What are
now that energy tank is going to be really helpful.
We got power bombs, we get Spider, followed up by we had boost ball before, and now we get bombs.
Oh, you were right. These checks would have been really good everywhere. Yeah, we're just going to be doing an underwater slope jump. You can gain a lot of height underwater because the game doesn't really... Slope jumps give you sort of a fixed amount of height, if that makes sense. But the water physics slow you down a much less when you're underwater, right? Because you fall much slower. Normally that's balanced by you also rising much slower from your jump, but because the slope jump gives you a fixed amount of height, it lets you go up way higher than an ordinary slope jump would.
Yeah, I would like to mention something is that I've noticed that Miguel seems aware of some springball tech, and that just reminds me is that Miguel is actually a well-known trilogy runner. So
is he? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, one of the few that exist out there. But very knowledgeable on corruption, so obviously Springball is known from there. Has recently done a task of Metroid Prime, 20% I believe.
Ooh, ends up behind the spider track. That's unfortunate.
I personally like the other standable. It's just closer and easier. Although the stash here is pretty neat.
Yeah, that does cut down a little bit of time if you get it.
Yeah.
There's boost ball.
Like
that's all of our ball
upgrades. All our more ball upgrades. 15 minutes in.
That was pretty 0 to 100 on the upgrades, I gotta say.
Yep.
From now, we have nothing missing except our visors, beams, suits, and beam combos.
My question is, will Miguel go back and check Ruin Gallery?
I honestly feel like he might. We're gonna get this item in Ruined Shrine first. The lower one requires a bomb to open. Oh, it's our berry suit. This is looking to be a pretty jet seed. I'm almost disappointed. I was hoping to see a real stinger, but sometimes you can't get it.
Let's see, we have the opportunity for some pretty bad beam locations.
That's true. That's true. And Phazon suit is still at large. That could be anywhere. We do have boost ball already, so gravity suit is going to be hopefully a non-factor. With the boost ball, you can get the item in the tunnel. Underwater in frigate. I don't remember what the room is called. It's escaping me right now.
Hydro access tunnel.
You can get that. Yeah, hydro access tunnel. You can get that with just boost ball, even if you don't have the gravity suit. It's a bit tricky, but Miguel almost certainly can do it.
Yeah, it's an intermediate or an advanced wall boost, I believe. I think
it's not going to be expected from our players. I don't think wall boosts are on in this tournament at all.
Oh no.
But Miguel is definitely experienced enough to know that.
Yes, you can actually do all of Frigate without gravity suit.
Yes, that's true.
Alright, a wall boost, I'm all for that. I'd love to have just a scene with normal settings, but just wall boost is just chilling at hyper mode. Gonna be peeking Vault first before we take our dip into Magmor.
I honestly, I do like the thoroughness from Miguel. That's kind of how I tend to play these sorts of games. I like to get everything in an area done before I move on.
Leaving stuff on a tenant can screw you over pretty bad.
Vault wasn't anything important, but we can leave that.
Looks like Jhava's going to be making his way over to Lottery Hall, so it's probably going to run into all those very useful upgrades.
Now, what I'm curious to see is if he's going to be able to do the underwater slope jump.
Yes,
because that is a little difficult, and he does have less energy than Miguel had. Miguel had 2 tanks for underwater slope jump, but Jhava's only got 1.
It's a beginner slope jump. I think it'll be fine.
Sometimes that damage can be a bit of pressure on runners, though, so like, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, see, here's where Springball really gets to shine, because you never really have to leave boost. Miguel is also aware of a lot of instant rumbles you can use with Springball. Oh,
Plasma Beam, that's very nice. Plasma Beam first is actually, probably in my opinion, the best beam you can get first, because it doesn't unlock anything early in the game. So that means that Wave and Ice aren't going to be out in the middle of nowhere. They're still going to be pretty accessible if you get Plasma first. Whereas if you get Wave or Ice first, then Plasma Beam can be all over the place.
Yep. That looked like thermal. Or I might have confused it for a missile.
It looked more like a missile to me.
Oh, excuse us, Triclops. Just passing by.
Now, I said earlier that the items we need are going to be the Phazon suit and the 6 artifacts. That is technically sort of the minimum, but we will almost certainly need all 3 beams as well to defeat the final boss. That's pretty non-negotiable.
Plasma is also a hard requirement along with those, although you can perform Exoskip.
Yeah, I was going to say, Exoskip is how you can potentially skip those required beams. That's
skip
why they're
way
only
behind.
sort of required air quotes.
Yes, Miguel is capable of doing exo skip, but it's very rare that you will have an instance where you can get phase on suit all your artifacts without picking up wave and or ice.
That said, we might still see it because if performed well, exo skip is just faster than fighting the final boss, even if
sorry.
you do get all your gear.
Yes.
That said, I still
believe
don't
Miguel
expect
will.
we're going to be seeing that. Cosmonaut, I know, is much more comfortable with exo skip, so he might do that in a few tournament races.
I think Miguel is more consistent Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yes, but Cosmonaut, I know, is just a bit more of a risk taker. Oh, that's an unfortunate death from Jhava. Was that in the poison water?
I believe it was.
That's going to set him back a bit.
There's an artifact.
Oh, it looks like he actually saved very, very close by, just outside Water Hall, which is going to be a bit of a relief for him. There's the artifact in Wild.
Yeah, Miguel invented that setup that actually gets the Metroid into Cryotompi, apparently.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, although it was the work of a few other people to actually get the wall crawl and sequel put together. It took a lot of time.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be pretty difficult.
Horror/story.
Well, thanks to Miguel for creating the horror that is Cosmonaut, and then unleashing it upon the world. This is gonna really suck for the Armory one, because now... Oh wait, hold on. I'm thinking of a different
really
one.
sucked for Major Minor split.
There was a rando, or a version where you just had all the items you needed and just had to make your way back to the final boss. Like from a random starting location, but that one was tossed out. That one was tossed out.
Baker's Dozen.
Baker's Dozen, right.
Yeah, for those who are not aware, there was a vote to determine which of our last week settings were going to be the victor. Armory Hunt won out, but we also had two others, which were Baker's Dozen and I believe it was Pick Your Poison. So unfortunate there not being able to get that slope jump.
Yeah, that one, slope jumps take a bit of practice. Once you learn how to do one, you can get the others pretty reasonably, but when you have this time pressure on, it can be a lot more difficult. Sometimes the stress can be enough, really, to get... That's Gravity Suit.
Oh, okay.
Gravity Suit in the tunnel to the Fen elevator. Very nice. Very nice find. Misses the scan on the elevator terminal. That's unfortunate.
Yes, sometimes you let go just a little too early. That is indeed Springball RA. This is definitely... we have to find Wave and like...
Yeah, our RAs were Springball. And we also have default damage reduction for our suits instead of the
progressive,
more even one, where it depends on how many suits you have. This one depends on which suits you have, which is a bit different from how it normally works.
I'm paying more attention to Jhava's screen now. Looks like not pulling away enough, and also need to conserve more height, so need to jump later. Or jump earlier, rather. Oh,
okay, we got it. I think 62 is enough health to get out.
It is.
I'm pretty sure. That's very good. That's very good. He's probably going to be playing pretty careful now, not to get hit.
Yeah. Are we going to see Vanilla Wavy?
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like it's either Vanilla or Ice Locked. Those are my two bets. That is nothing.
Nothing under the statue. I was expecting something, to be honest.
Nice. Well, default state for IS/Springball, they are both off by default.
Yes, IS, we decided, is not banned, but it has to be agreed upon by the runners for it to be allowed.
I believe there was also a vote on that.
Oh, and that might be a beam. That's, I think, Ice Beam. No, wait, that's a visor.
Oh, you know what?
Is that X-ray? Is that X-ray?
So, this is a soft lock, quote unquote. Did Miguel just realize that? Oh shoot.
Yeah.
I thought he went into there so confidently that I thought he had planned, because you see there is a secret world you can do in that room.
Yes. And
There
yeah,
is a way to
there are some
do it.
tricks.
Yes. Miguel saved? I want to say so.
I hope so. Talon
Uh-oh.
Overworld, 7 minutes elapsed. Oh boy, that's no good.
Uh,
Now this is where we see Java's more cautious approach is going to start paying dividends, because
yeah,
now
wow.
he's going to have a pretty big advantage. Now Miguel's
Just
only
like
lost like 20 minutes of progress,
just
but
like the
20
race
minutes
with
is a lot.
just like the race with the rabbit and the tortoise, folks.
This is really going to make things a lot more interesting.
But yeah, there is a secret way to do in Chapel of the Elders. Given that Miguel went into there sort of what it felt like without thinking.
Yeah, I was
I
expecting
thought
him to
that
do the trick where you lay a bomb behind the door as it closes. I don't remember exactly how that one worked, but I've seen that a few times.
the one benefit is that Miguel knows where everything is. So he knows what to do past, I don't know, just mainly early Magmor.
Yeah, he's gonna remember where most of his upgrades are, and he's gonna be able to grab them very, very quickly. But that's still gonna be a pretty significant time loss compared to Java, who just has the upgrades.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Java's plan is next.
Probably to go grab the boost ball, I would reckon.
Oh, that's weird. Why did he not... Oh, wait,
Oh,
that's right. For some reason, I thought it was an upper dynamo in my head.
maybe he's going to Zoid.
Uh, yeah.
I don't think... Did Miguel go to
Okay.
Zoid? I don't think he did.
Nope. After grabbing Varia committed.
I'm pretty sure he just grabbed this E-Tank up here and then left. They didn't go even go into Power Core.
Yeah, G4.
Energy Core, you're right, my bad.
No, don't worry about it. There's a lot of room names.
There's a lot of room names, and I used to know all of them. And now I know half of them poorly.
I'm unfortunate enough to have played this game too much, and I want to say all of them, but there's still a few that are easy to forget.
Watch as Zoid has our wave beam or something. I'm gonna lose it.
That would be a funny case.
That would be a pretty big win for Java, if I'm being honest. Because there's a good possibility Miguel is just not gonna check it a second time.
There is
I
a
reckon that's
technicality
probable.
that Java is ahead. Let's see if Java will be able to hold the lead though. This is an interesting strat there to climb that room. I have to keep that in mind.
Let me just adjust Java's volume a little.
Yep. Ooh, nice. That instant Amorphin Dynamo is a little tough to get. It's very inconsistent, but it's always cool when you get it. That's some interesting spring ball tech. It looks like Miguel used a damage boost off the eye and did a spring ball at the same time to get a lot of speed coming out. Interesting.
Yeah, Miguel's movement is very optimized, you're gonna see.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like Miguel is either going to grab the E-Tank or is going to try doing Zoid this time.
And it's a missile expansion. Oh, that's unfortunate. And Miguel is choosing not to go there. We might still see something. Can we get something in Furnace? I'm pretty sure Furnace is accessible right now. Lower Furnace, at least.
And
actually upper
the
Furnace,
upper
because we have
Furnace,
Power Bombs, we have the Boost Ball, and we have the Spider Ball. We can get both Furnace items.
Yeah.
So that's completely in logic. We can do it even the vanilla way. Although I reckon Java might know the standable.
We'll see. But this could be good if we find Wave in there. That would also be really bad because with what Miguel's doing, he's committing to what's being opened up. But honestly, with Chozo being so front-loaded, you know.
It might be the wrong play, if I'm being honest.
We'll see.
I can
tend to commit
understand
kills as
wanting
much
to
as I can.
avoid the Zoid, though. I can understand. The Zoid is no fun. He's going to ruin your day and take your lunch money.
I don't know. Maybe
Real
not all
life
that.
Zoid, very nice person. Video game Zoid, that's a different
legend.
story. Another nothing under
Ooh.
Furnace. That's we're really getting beat up here.
Well, we'll see if Upper Furnace has any remedy or not. Oh, or yes.
Okay. Oh, wait, Jhava doesn't have. Did Jhava get the boost ball? Because
nope, has not routed in yet.
That said, we
They're
probably can get it with a standable if Jhava knows it. I mentioned that earlier.
Let's see if this is the fabled wave beam.
That looks like maybe supers?
You can't scan it from there, unfortunately. Whatever it is, Jhava wanted to scan it, but doesn't.
Yeah, it probably
like
was just a missile. It might have been supers or flamethrower, but I don't think it was. It's hard to tell with the smaller screen.
When I think about it, having spring ball might mean that going the upper way might be faster than falling down. Anyways, Miguel is on his way to getting back where he was before. Just gonna have to go through Magmore. This time opting for the other route, but is going to miss out on Plasma Beam unless he plans to just bite the bullet, realizing that this routing wasn't optimal. Thing is, I feel like Plasma Beam has a good chance of being the thing that unlocks Wave. I don't feel like you would place it this early if you weren't going to have it lock something important like that. Probably in his head, he thought going this way is faster because the artifact is in the way, but he must have forgotten about Plasma, or has some sort of ulterior motives that we cannot possibly comprehend.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
They're gonna be heading back, it looks like. Just spring ball all the way.
And we also did lose the artifact of Wild and Fire Shore. We're gonna have to go get that later. That's definitely gonna be in our schedule. Oh, did he?
Yes.
Sorry, I was looking at Java screen. My bad.
No worries. So where else was it? Actually, I have it written down here. So security cave, transport.
We had hydro access tunnel and
right.
Yeah.
Humon.
Quarantine month. Those are our only 4 remaining. We only have
Java's
6.
doing Flagra. Believe it or not, I actually
Java's taking the risks.
Now without that he does this quite a bit.
That's honestly not surprising. I definitely try to do. If I'm not as good at the randomizer that I'm playing, this is something I do a lot in Super Metroid Randomizer when I do play on occasion. I'll often do kind of out-of-the-way checks as a means to try and catch up. Because I know that a lot of players aren't going to want to crisscross the map 100 times. And they're going to want to go in straight lines as much as they can, get check after check after check. But sometimes if you take that risk and do a suboptimal route, knowing that your opponent probably won't, that can actually pay a lot of dividends.
Well, I suppose that can happen in instances.
And we do start with Charge Beam, so if we do go to Ghosts, which is going to be pretty easy since we have Spider Ball, we aren't going to have a complete horrible time. It's not as good as if we had Supers, and we don't got X-Ray either, but it's better than nothing.
I personally don't think we're going to find anything here, because Flagra very rarely has early progression. It is possible, but it tends to be placed later. And even if there is something important on Flagra, such as an artifact or I'm not sure.
Well, there's not an artifact. We already know where they all are. None of them are in Sun Chamber.
In an if scenario, I think even if you do route in later, you may have better materials. And if you go in backwards and you also know how to use power bombs to get multiple bomb slots, Flagra can just be extremely fast.
Yes. The power bombs is what I was thinking of earlier, because we do have power bombs pretty early in this seed, but we don't have them right now. Miguel remembering that Pendrana didn't have that much, I think, in deciding to leave. Maybe he's gonna try his luck in Far Magmore, but there's not that much he can do there. I
Yeah,
think he
that's
doesn't have
weird.
beams, so I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, gravity suit.
Seriously? Okay,
We forgot to grab that.
I know it's kind of
Somebody
nice,
in chat
but like
reminded me.
seriously, you
I
go
just
back for
completely forgot it. I completely forgot it. And that's going to be potentially useful if Farfen is in the cards right now. Because we can get the one in Frost Cave with the big stalagmite of ice. Or stalactite. I don't remember which one it is. It's the one on the ceiling that you knock down and it makes a
Uh-oh.
big hole in the ice. That can be...
Oh,
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Java just
Guys.
got
Logger.
mauled by Flogger on the tentacle there.
Ah, where are we getting sent?
She can mess you up if you're not careful. I remember trying
Is
out
Flogger
21%, and
really?
it's just way harder when you don't have as many resources to work with.
Yeah. Flogger can definitely bully you.
I want to say that Java still has all the upgrades obtained from Dynamo, and
Yeah, he's been pretty conservative with his saves, so I don't think he's going to be getting any big setbacks like Miguel did.
Oh yes, Vita. I sent 5 because that's currently the amount. I believe the other one was very early. I think it was Transport Access North. Yeah. Okay, no wave beam there.
No wave beam over there. We can also check the spider track since we got Spider Ball. Another missile.
Nope.
Unfortunate.
Ice Ruins West, anyone?
I think this is Ice Ruins East. Ice Ruins West, I believe, is the other one. I might be getting it backwards, though.
No, you're right. I was referring that Ice Ruins West may have what I'm assuming is going to be wave beam.
Oh, yeah. I'm honestly leaning more on Canyon, if anything.
I don't know. Personally, I feel like the plasma being placed early points towards progression being locked by it, but I suppose...
I'm honestly leaning on, like... I'm expecting it to be like Phazon and Geotherm. Oh!
Yep.
You'll make me eat my words.
Vita, there is a transport access. Oh, nice smiley face. That is the... whatchamacallit? It's the elevator that leads to Magmore Workstation, and there is an ice block.
We are going to go grab our visor now that we got the wave beam. Miguel is really keen on grabbing that now. I understand. What's that X-ray? It looked kind of grayish. I never remember the
X-ray
difference.
was there.
Alright, I can't
not sure
remember the difference between that and thermal, so I appreciate the help.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Sometimes I'm pretty 50-50 because it does take a while to actually get this X-ray.
But it can really help a lot. If we need to do
OP.
Elite Pirate, or sorry, OP,
Yeah.
then it is mandatory. We absolutely need that to kill OP. So if there's an item on OP or on the item behind OP in the room where you normally get an energy tank, if one of those two items is necessary, then we need the X-ray visor. It is no option to get anything else.
Yep. There is a wall crawl you can do to PCA. I am not certain of whether or not Miguel's aware of that. It's a pretty neat wall crawl, but it's not really something that you'd see every day.
And we do have power bumps, so this is going to go very quick. Blink and you'll miss it.
Oh, we do have power bombs. I kind of forgot about that. That will make this much easier. Oh, Miguel, I don't think...
Miguel opting to do the missile strat. This is pretty fast too, so it's really no big deal. Maybe he wants to save the power bomb.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about what he may be conserving it for.
Are there any power bomb checks in labs? Because labs is now on the table that we have wave beam.
There's not. There is security cave, or rather storage cavern. Storage cave.
Yeah, the one connected to
so
Pendrana's edge.
Heavens.
And the one on Pendrana's edge.
Yes, we still need to find our ice beam.
Yeah, we will want to find that ice beam, preferably before we get to Research Core, because that will let us just pop out the back and into Farfen without much hassle.
Oh,
We're going to be taking a save here. Very smart. Yeah, Diggle is right. We don't want to grind for PBs in lab. She's
Right.
completely correct. Going into lab and trying to get PBs on the way out can really be nasty. You'll see that kill a lot of actual prime any percent runs. I've seen
Yeah.
Cosmonaut have his fair share of trouble. I tend to watch his stream when he's trying to get a new personal best.
Certainly. When you're going to control tower, you will only have one power bomb. You can also alternatively grab one at
Oh, that was a
meds and
really
security
neat
gear.
instant unmorph. Did you see that on Mr.
I
McGill?
did. That was very
That's
impressive.
slick.
There's a lot of interesting ones, especially now that Spring Ball's opened up, because you can do some trilogy style IUs.
Yeah. I think Miguel's gonna actually have a bit of an advantage with Spring Ball on, now that you mention it.
Yeah,
Because
that
I
was
can't
my
imagine
idea.
many other runners are gonna be knowing about little optimizations like that.
Yes, it's definitely one that's exclusive to Miguel's skill set, which is really impressive to see, but also it's a little scary for those who want Spring Ball, but also know that you're playing Miguel.
Yeah. Runners will have the option of vetoing Spring Ball, because by default it is not enabled. But a lot of runners do like playing Spring Ball. It's fun, it makes things smoother, you know.
Yes, like that. It's a very nice IUJ right there.
Ruined Courtyard does
So
not hold anything for us today.
we know that Wave Beam is not in Sun Chamber, so maybe best case scenario it's an Ice Beam or Supers?
Maybe.
Or Phazon, but that's a little rare.
Phazon is. I think Phazon is actually the most likely. Because when do you find progression on ghosts? When you
Actually,
have
Supers
this
can't be
much
here
open.
logically. Yeah.
Oh, does combat not allow you to fight them with just charge beam?
Well, no, well, in this case you need Charge Beam, but logically Supers cannot be here because you would need it to actually climb Sun
Oh,
Tower.
yeah. Early Wild. I was forgetting about that. That's not in logic.
Or actually, I'm not sure.
No, we have Spider Ball. Accessible. So it is in logic. Early Wild is totally in logic. I forgot we had Spider Ball, because what you can do is you can just roll down the track, flip, and like barely dip under it without even letting go of the spider track, and then just roll right back up, and it will reload the room.
I wasn't sure whether or not
That, I think,
Randomizer
is
took into
pretty...
account.
I think that's in logic when you have Spider Ball. Oh, is that under intermediate knowledge? I thought it would be like beginner knowledge.
It is an
I'd have to
intermediate
check.
complex bomb jump.
No. I'm talking about early wild, specifically with Spider.
Ah,
Which does not require a bomb jump, in my memory. It's literally just rolling down the track and then back up.
yes.
Oh, we're gonna get the Tower of Missiles today.
Yep, not enough height there.
There's also a standable you can do with the branches on the left. That's usually how I get up, but...
That is an
Teach them.
alternate method. Miguel
I'm
tried
pretty
to
sure this
do
one's
a
faster.
fast strat, where you do a dash onto the sort of lip there that you try to stand on, but did not get the height for it. Or maybe slipped off.
Oh, there's our Ice
there's
Beam! That's all our beams.
We're
We're
solo go mode.
basically in go mode. We just need to find a phase-on suit. Now, Miguel's gonna have options. We can either look thoroughly everywhere we go, try and find the phase-on suit naturally, or we can get all our artifacts and go for the phase-on suit hint, which I don't think is what Miguel is gonna do. I think he is just gonna look for the phase-on suit with his eyes,
Yes.
but I could be wrong about that.
Personally, in this scenario, where you, again, Tower Missiles, where you don't have, because Phase on Mines has been untouched, for one. Farfandrana and Labs and Thardus have all been untouched. Some of Far Magmor and Plasma Processing have been untouched. In this scenario, you kind of need Phase on Suit Hint because there's a good chance to be a lot of places.
Yeah.
Actually, let me look at these artifacts again. You might be able to clear out Farfandrana first and look for Phase on Suit on the way. So it's more so if you're whether or not you want to confirm it's in mines. So, I mean, I'd say do Farfandrana if you don't find Phase on Suit there. I would not blame you for committing to Phase on Suit in mines, since that is very common with this preset.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely understandable. I do think Miguel is going to be looking pretty thoroughly on the way to the artifacts, is what I guess I mean. Like,
Right.
I don't think he's just going to beeline straight towards them and ignore everything else.
Oh yeah, there's also
He is
Far
going to
Talon.
recheck his artifacts.
Yeah, there's also Far Talon and Far Chozo. You know,
Yeah,
there's a
which
lot
we
of
haven't
places it
looked at
could
all.
be.
It could be somewhere around Hall of the Elders, for all we know. It could be in like Antechamber.
Right.
All
The
these
statistics
places.
point towards mines, but Randomania is known for putting out some pretty unexpected stuff. So we'll see.
Any predictions for our exact phase on suit location?
Exact location. Ooh. Hmm. I
I'm gonna be a bit of a contrarian. I'm gonna say it's in Cargo Freight Lift Gamma.
Ooh. Interesting. We haven't seen that one in I don't even know for how long.
We do have the
I feel
gravity
like we
suit,
might
it's worth
see
noting, and the
Metroid
wave beam.
Quarantine B. I want to say MQB.
MQB, that's a good answer. I like that. I like that.
That would be the one that would be the most interesting, I'd say.
Some other guesses we see in chat are for PCA, Great Tree Chamber, ugh,
Yep.
and Fungal Hall Access. These are
Yep.
all good answers. I like these answers. Now, I don't think MrMiguel would like these answers so much. I think MrMiguel wants it to be on like, Control Tower or something.
Yeah. I think my second guess, if it wasn't lower mines, coming to plasma processing. I think my second guess would probably be maybe storage cave or gravity chamber.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I'm thinking it has to be either Farfen or lower mines, in my opinion. That's just what I'm thinking.
And Jhava is finally picking up that various suit.
Yep. Miguel is doing the one spinner geothermal core climb. It's a little tough, a little tricky, but it's fast since you don't have to deal with activating all the spinners, just one. You can actually
Also, we do
without
have a
activating any
cutscene
of them,
skip
but it's
on,
bad.
so we don't have to watch the ceiling go up. We can just sort of get started right away. And just a missile in plasma processing. That's unfortunate. I was expecting something, like at least an E-tank, but no luck today.
Yeah.
And yeah, that last jump is kind of the easy part of that climb. Doing the rest of it with no spinners, except that last one, is a little tricky. Oh, that's Ice Spreader in
Ice Spreader.
Workstation.
Ice Spreader.
Probably gonna say no to that. It takes a long time to get the workstation item. Not like immense time, but it's like, that's basically like doing the power bomb maze for no reason. Ice Spreader is good for final bosses, but we've also, that's kind of a far away concern. We might well just find supers before then.
Miguel may be saying in his head, who needs to fight final bosses when you're going to skip them?
Honestly, I do want to see an attempt at Exo Skip. I would love to see that. So I hope Miguel puts on a show for us.
We'll see. Alright, so I guess the routing here is going to be quarantine monitor, then just go through your regular Fendrana checks.
Diggle Royath points out that technically charged ice is actually faster damage than the Ice Spreader if you can aim well. It's a bit trickier, but honestly Miguel is definitely the caliber of player to get that more optimal.
I agree with Diggle and disagree with that in that case, because when when Exo is damaged and does its lunge, but it's still in ice form, you won't be able to take it out immediately, but you can with Ice Spreader. So I'd argue that it'd be better than using charged ice. Also, thinking about it in my head, that seems kind of impressive. If you hit fully charged shots every single time, then maybe...
I've seen people do it. I don't think she's wrong here. I've definitely seen a lot of people who have that ability.
I just haven't used Ice Brown Exo in a while, so kindly correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm not a big Exo fan either, so I wouldn't know. Frost Cave, that looks like an E-tank.
I'm more of an Omega Pirate guy myself. Okay, will we see Storage Cave?
I imagine we probably will. You can't actually, with a charged plasma shot, open the door through that little rock wall. It's kind of thin, so you can just do that pretty easily.
Yep. You abuse splash damage.
Exactly. And we did need that artifact, so, Glad to get that out of the way.
Yep, we've secured all our Farfen or Fendrana artifacts. Are we going to go through the rest of Fendrana? The answer looks like a yes. Although Miguel,
Yeah, it looks like we're going to Gravity
bomb.
Chamber.
Yeah, Miguel needs to secure a power bomb this time because we are likely going to be heading to mines after this.
In mines, you want a lot of power bombs. There's a lot of power bombable stuff. There's one very early, right next to main quarry in the security access room of ambiguous name.
Is that a visor?
Now it looks like a missile. Too bright to be a visor, I think.
I'm not sure. Thermal visor. I keep seeing thermal visor.
Oh wait, the last artifact is in Hydro Access Tunnel. You're right. So, yeah, Diggler's right. I keep forgetting the artifact locations.
Yeah, it's either you commit to artifacts or you commit to phase on being in mines at this point.
Honestly, I don't think Miguel's gonna make that mines commitment, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
My intuition says he's just gonna go for that artifact 6. Otherwise, he wouldn't have tracked down the other 5 so fast.
Yeah, I'd say so too. Although him looking for a power bomb made me think that maybe was interested in doing a mines dip. Although it looks like he's going to warp to start, so I think I am correct in this case. Oh, watch out, Hunter Metroid. There we go. Just going to do a quick R-jump, slope jump. There we go.
And we're doing a warp to start here. I like this. I like this a lot.
Yep.
I always forget that these are just right here and that you can use them at any time, but Miguel's definitely on point with that routing of the warp to starts. We've had 2 so far, and both of them I've agreed with very strongly.
Yeah, is this going to be just completely pushed through Frigate, or are we going to go through a couple elevators just to get Hydro Access Tunnel from the long end?
In this situation, I would probably just do Frigate, honestly. It's pretty linear, you know, getting the other items is just on the way.
Right.
We don't have supers, so biohazard containment, if it has something, which we will be able to check with X-ray very easily.
We are going to be...
Oh, we are just going to do the elevators then.
We do have a few checks that could be phase-on suit on the way. Oh, that's another PB. That's going to be really nice.
Yeah, we can't get biohazard, but we can absolutely check it. Even if we didn't have X-ray, it's possible to peek through the little crack in between the wall and the containment door and see what the item is. But you know, it's just not being able to get it that really kind of stings if there's something important there.
Yep. If we do have a phase-on suit in biohazard, then that would be will make this quite a bit longer of a seat, I imagine.
That would be some capital F fun, I tell you what.
Whoops. That was just a missile.
Yeah, Antechamber does not hold the answer today.
Supers in PCA with a phase-on and biohazard would be atrocious.
I believe you mean fantastic.
Well, depending on your point of view, yes.
Look, I'm just in it for the suffering. That's what I come in here for, you know? I feed off the misery of the runners, and then I relay that feeling to you, the chat.
Indeed. Oh, nice problem.
Generating a terrible seed for content. Oh, if only, if only. I don't think the TOs peak at the seeds, though.
Who did gen the seed this time around?
I would probably guess Reggie, but I don't know for sure.
Let's see. Alright, phase-on suit's just chilling right here. The seed is going to be only about a few minutes, maybe like 10, 15 minutes longer. If not, then we may see the seed extend by, let's 30 minutes, give or take.
For 30 minutes not enough. I need an hour.
Oh lord. You would have to have a lot of really bad locations for that to happen.
Yeah. At this point, it's not in the cards. We have all our artifacts pretty much locked down. We've got all our upgrades. There's not really much the seed can do to us at this point.
See, you know, we could have that phase on suit locked behind supers somewhere, and supers can just be at a really obscure location.
Super's
where
on
you just
Omega Pirate.
Nah, I think it would be great if supers were in training chamber.
Oh, that's so good. I like the way you think.
Yeah.
It's
like
very
Jhava's-
clean bar skip.
Jhava's
I'm
just
surprised.
froze. Going all the way down to Hydraxis Tunnel.
Oh, having some video issues, it looks like, with MrMiguel. That's unfortunate. Hopefully that comes back soon.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll pick this up here in a second. There we
Oh,
go.
hold on. He came back just as I was switching the audio. Let's put that back. No, and then he dropped again. Never mind. We're good.
So Miguel, I guess this will warp to start probably. May peak main core.
Yeah, we're definitely heading to start pretty soon. Now, fun fact, this is the only save station in the game where you have to scan the terminal to get to the save. This also means that it's one of the only starting locations in the game that you can't have, because you can't scan the terminal to open the bars from the other side. So starting here would actually be a soft lock, because it starts.
I did spend
inside the
half an
save.
hour messing with the collision in that room to see if there was any possible way for you to get out, but no success.
Hopefully somebody does a quality of life to let you scan it from the other side. But somehow I don't think that anybody's going to bother. Now, because we do have all the artifacts, we are going to fight Ridley as well.
Nice ship dash. That dash is pretty tight, but it's always fun to get it.
Yeah, that's the
Saves
thing
a
about
few
the
seconds.
dashes. They're very satisfying, even if they're difficult. You want to do them just because they feel stylish. That's what I like about Prime. And we did mention Boost Ball earlier. Meta Ridley is very weak to Boost Ball. Hopefully we can even get Flyby Skip, but somehow I'm not certain that that's in the cards.
There's a setup for it. It looks. For a second I thought Miguel was going for it, but messed up the second charge shot by just a little bit.
So not today. That said, it won't be too long until we boost Ridley and get it down to the last phase. Yeah, again, like I said, the boost ball can't completely nuke Ridley out of existence, but it can get most of the way there. And that's what the boost ball does. It might not have looked like much had happened when he boosted into Ridley, but you'll notice that the health bar is now about a quarter of the way full, instead of being like 5-6.
Yes, it deals a lot of damage. If Ridley didn't have a second phase here with the damage cap on the first phase, Ridley would just be dead.
Also, you can see that when Meta Ridley does that like mouth opening thing, and his head kind of swings up to the right, you can't actually lock onto that, but you can still hit it. It's still very much open. So Miguel was switching out of auto aim to manually aim that shot, which is kind of tricky. You saw that he missed one of those shots, but he's hitting almost all the other ones because he's a very good player. I misses that one as well, unfortunately. And that's Better Ridley down. This is going to open up Impact Crater, the final area of the game, but we cannot defeat the final boss until we get the phase on suit. Once we go down the elevator, there's going to be a hint right next to the elevator in Impact Crater that tells us where the phase on suit is. We will shortly find out what the randomizer has in store for us today. If you have any predictions you want to get in now, now's your time. I already put my bet on Cargo Freight Lift Gamma. And Sam, I believe you put your bet on MQB.
I'm sorry, I was having some internet issues. But
All right.
yes, MQB was my bet, but at the very least, I feel like we're going to see mines here.
Chozo Ruins.
That's unexpected.
That's interesting. I was not expecting that.
I think it's going to be Elder Chamber then.
Yeah, phase on suit hint in our settings cannot tell you exactly where it is. It's possible for the Randomizer program to have that, but we've set that to be just the area that it's in.
Yes,
It could be training chamber. It could be
bit.
training chamber. And yeah, we did. I think we did see ghosts. I don't think it was anything. Jhava would have done it. That said, Miguel hasn't seen ghosts, so he might go up. He might do Flogger and ghosts. I don't think he'll do it first, but
Yeah,
he might do it. And we also know it's not
probably
Furnace.
will.
We know it's not Furnace. We know it's not Zoid. Miguel also doesn't know these things.
It's likely that we will see Magma Pool into Train Chamber and Train Chamber Access. If we were to see it flogger up early, it would be right after those checks, I'd say, but probably going to commit to Holly Ups.
Magma Pool stuff, I don't think Java checks before heading over. It is actually in logic right now because we have Grapple Beam in suit, you know? That early grapple actually is... Oh, let's see here.
I wonder why Miguel isn't interested.
Yeah, I guess we're going straight for Zoid. Or possibly he's got a hunch about Hall of the Elders. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he may be concerned that he never went to do those early checks, and it may be the one thing that you need.
We're going to be starting with Zoid.
Or not.
Oh,
Gonna
never
be doing the
mind.
puzzle instead.
And now that we do know phase on suit is, that does mean that Java is unfortunately wasting their time in labs. Probably not going to find anything.
Looks like a big commitment for all the others. Oh yeah, we've also never seen Crossway.
Oh, I see a message in the race time from back when MrMiguel got stuck in Mama Shigoth. It says,
Oh, dear.
"I forgore." That was right when he reset it. I missed that earlier. That's funny.
For gore indeed.
We do have another race today with Op 82 versus Emerald Pie. That comes on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be on SpeedGaming 2 if anybody wants to check that out later.
Yep.
In the meantime, we're just going to be sort of cleaning up this season.
Hey! Let's go, we got the one frame bomb.
Oh, that's sick.
Also overlapping the cutscene with the ghost there will save you some time. Again, the one frame bomb. Incredible.
2 in a row!
We have to wait to see if we get a third. Nope. Nope.
Not today. Bowling, sadly, does not net us any reward there.
Vanilla E.
Now we are going to check under the statue.
Oh, There's another one.
Okay, 3 for 4. That's not bad. That's not half bad. Jhava doesn't quite manage to skip the fight trigger, so he's going to be doing the control tower fight.
Are we going to see a phase on soon in training chamber?
It is possible.
All the others did not sprout anything. Yes, there is a way you can skip this pirate fight here in Control Tower.
Yeah, and it can save a lot of time. It's not too difficult, but you can miss it pretty easily if you're not precise enough. Alright, Miguel's going to be fighting Zoid. I'm going to use that as a chance to go get some water. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Yeah, unfortunately, Zoid is not it. I am very surprised about how long Miguel delayed this check for. Thankfully, Randovania rather, makes it so that the Zoid RNG is much more forgiving. You'll almost always have a Zoid that the fight finishes before the music loops. Actually, I'm curious about thermal visor since we have not yet found it. So maybe we'll see it here in labs. Okay, Miguel has a better
Alright, I
idea
have
of where-
returned.
Welcome back. Miguel did Zoid. Nothing
Alright.
obviously. It looks like we're finally going to be doing the training chamber push.
Yeah, finally. I don't see that many other locations you can be in at this point. I mean, there's Crossway, I believe, but I don't think we've checked that.
Yeah. With this, though, that means Phase on Mines was completely dead. Just absent from the scene.
Oh,
Oh,
there it is. Go
Magma
mode.
Pool is not something you see very often. We could have gotten that quite a bit a while ago.
What do you mean not very often? I think I see it quite a lot in Prime tournaments. Is it like, has it been like
Magma Pool
devalued or something? I'm used to it
I don't
being
know.
pretty common to be aligned.
I don't know. I just don't. I haven't seen it myself in a very long time. If
Oh,
I have to
okay.
be honest.
Unless you mean specifically Phase on Suit and Magma Pool. I just think it has a progression a lot.
Ah. Yeah, Magma Pool out progression. Phase on Suit and Magma Pool, I feel like, is kind of uncommon.
That's definitely fair.
I feel like you should have done Magma Pool, Training Chamber access, and whatnot as soon as you entered. Like,
Yeah, I don't like that decision out of Miguel. I definitely would have done that myself. That doesn't mean that we're just going to be heading right. Yeah. That doesn't mean we're just going to be heading right to the final bosses now. We're going to be doing Exo very shortly. Or possibly Exo Skip. That remains to be seen.
I know Miguel. I heard Miguel reference it that he would only do exo skip if it was against someone who knows as well, I believe, or against someone
Yeah,
he's
against
not so
somebody
sure
like
about.
against somebody like Java, I feel like he probably is feeling at least a little confident. That mix-up earlier, that failure where he had to reset 20 minutes of progress, that might be enough to worm its way into his head and convince him that he needs to make up time. But at the same time,
Saying
Java's
that,
kind of not a big name in the randomizer community, so it's hard to say. Hard to say.
Miguel is taking a safety save, which could indicate. Oh, yep. If you boost like that, then you know that exo skip's happening. Oh no, but he doesn't have a power bomb. That's very important to actually getting the setup. Because you power bomb the
Hmm.
Metroid immediately at the bottom, and it respawns, and that sort of
Yeah.
manipulates the AI. He may just be doing a strategy where that doesn't happen.
I don't know.
I think he should be okay. Okay,
Whoops. That's no good. That's not what you want to see happen.
don't worry, I think that was intentional. He's H.
H. Okay, I wasn't sure. Because I know you need a Metroid to get through that. I wasn't sure if he accidentally blew up the one that he was going to actually use.
Yeah, that
I'm not
Metroid
too
was the bad
familiar with
Metroid.
setups. Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah, this is the good Metroid. So
Basically, what happens is that after it leaves the room it's supposed to be in, well, strange things happen.
Yes, I've done this quite a few times myself. So we wait for it to charge once here, and then on its second charge, we want to morph, roll in, and now this Metroid's in a good position, because there is a small hole in the door here that can be used to clip out of bounds. There's a setup for it here, but I don't know if that's going to work. I guess it did. Very nice. You have to line it up, get...
Ah, gets popped back in.
That was weird. That looks like he had it. I think he
Yeah,
was
it
in the
looked
map
pretty
block.
good.
Yeah, it looked like in the map there he was checking to see if he actually clipped out. Gonna just be doing the setup again. I have to get the camera in a specific spot. It needs to be parallel with the door.
Oh, no, that's not it.
Hold forward a little bit more. Yeah, sometimes you don't always clip out of bounds. It is a very precise position you have to be in for it to work. Nope. Nope.
There we go.
And gets
So
the
we are
other
doing
one.
exo skip today.
Yes. There's a small window there where you can get an instant unmorph jump. These Sanibals are different than what I've normally seen.
Are they? I'm not too familiar
There's
with
actually a
hospitals.
lot of different ways you can do the exo skip wall crawl itself.
There's a lot of terrain, yeah. There's like
Really
all of
interesting.
these little strands of stuff and little blobules or whatever. These are all sort of things that you can stand on.
Yeah, it's just a very spread amount of standables, but it's mainly most of the stuff.
Yeah, it is
isn't
not
standables.
sparse. It is not too sparse.
Oh, air jump. That's a much riskier way of doing it, but pulled it off flawlessly. We have to hit a.
Oh.
Oh, no, we're good. Just gotta do some bomb.
No, no, no. I'm not like scared. I'm impressed.
Oh.
That was.
Yes.
We are gaming.
We dodged a cutscene trigger earlier when he was doing that R jump. If you get hit by that cutscene trigger, it's just a soft lock, immediate. Now we just have to fall down these and hit certain triggers to transition the room. Now we have to make it to the end here. There's a small standable, and we're going to be performing. I'm assuming it's an R jump.
I'm not
There we
too
go.
familiar with the exact mechanics of exo skip, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, we gotta do an R jump here. Now standable, transition, and then
And we
got
hit the cutscene. Boom. We're in essence now.
Very solid exo skip. Alright, now it's just time for essence. Not gonna have thermal, so a free pull might be a little bit more challenging.
That
no,
said,
it's
we do
almost
have X-ray, we have scan, we have combat. That's pretty good. We're only missing one visor.
by facing away from the pool there, you actually have Essence end up in front of you instead of behind you. Nice little thing there. So it looks like Miguel is doing a weird two-pull strat. Normally you would just do regular shots on Essence to interrupt its animation to sort of accelerate the animation cycle, but Miguel's was doing some cancel there, which you normally do only on the last pull. No power bombs, so probably gonna have to deal with them using phase on beam. Again, no thermal. You can see it in scan visor. There it is. Okay, just gonna be letting her rip. Not even gonna go for pool cancels. Now all we have to do is just wait out its animations. I think to lay another.
Oh, yeah, there's a power bomb there. We could grab that.
Oh. Miguel is not interested.
I mean, he's a little interested. He wants to learn more about it.
Ah, yes. Lay a morph ball bomb. That will kill the Metroids. Yeah, they're a little bit.
It will kill their spirit. It will kill their motivation. That's what really matters.
Oh dear.
It's demoralizing.
Metroids are just all over the place.
Yeah, lots of stuff trying to get in Miguel's face here, which is not useful because when you get hit, you have this knockback that's a recoil animation, which keeps you from attacking. So you want to avoid killing him.
Ran out kind of pool there. Didn't get many shots at the start. We are going to see another pool right now, though. Alright, going to be switching to Ice Beam with these guys. Got them both at once. Should be good to take Essence out. Let's look at a few pool cancels. Fortunately, we cannot do it with Ice Beam, but we can have power beam equipped for this to work. I think that's enough. And that's GG, folks. Time. 1:15:19.
All right.
However, still on the
And
hunt for
Jhava
Ice
has forfeit as well, so we're going to be seeing both of them in here pretty soon.
Beam. Yep. I have to say, that seed could have been a lot faster.
Yeah, I still think it was reasonably fast, but I think that could have been like not
Just had the
quite
opportunity
sub-hour,
to-
maybe not quite sub-hour, but pretty close to it.
Based on
Actually, who am I
Superstar,
kidding? It could have
there was a
totally been
relocation.
sub-hour. It could have totally been sub-hour.
Yeah. It was early, but at the same time, it was late. Alrighty, we'll have our racers here for an interview in just a moment. I'm kind of disappointed by the fact that Phazon Suit was not in a bad location. And we have our racers here for an interview. Hello, folks. Good game. Well played. To you, Miguel.
Thanks.
And to you as well, Java. It's nice to. It's really a. This was a fantastic race. I enjoyed commentating it a lot.
Likewise. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
I'm sure-
sort of. Huh?
Go ahead, Miguel.
I just wanted to say I forgot. That's me
Yep.
saying I forgot.
Now, Java, you did not see this, but MrMiguel went into Mama Shegoth room because MrMiguel saw shiny. That was where the X-ray visor was. You, I believe, already picked that up. Yeah, you did. He did that without wave B. Not a good day.
Oh.
He had to
Yeah.
reset, and he basically went all the way back to landing site. Not to the very start. He saved at landing site a little while after some of the initial stuff, but he had to do a lot of stuff over again.
Nice 49 IGT. Good lord.
Yeah, it took a little bit longer than that in actuality.
because of the reset.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's the, that skews it a bit.
To be honest, when you were going to Chapel, I thought you were going to do some nonsense with the Chapel Seeker World. I was going to be like, what? It's going to be something probably new to the restreams here.
Nah, I just forgot that I did not have waving. Otherwise, I would have probably jailbroken it with a power bomb.
That's what I was kind of expecting to happen.
And then I found wave beam in Ice Ruins west. I think it's west.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ha ha ha! I was right here. Funny.
Dies inside
Yeah.
slowly.
then I put a smiler on the face. And then I forgot about magma pool, and I'm like, oh well. I
Oh, you
guess there's
forgot
just
about it. I kind of thought that was like a deliberate choice, actually. I didn't really
nah.
register that you just didn't remember.
I just
What
forgot
was
about
what was the
magma
magma
pool
pool?
face
Phase
and
on
suit.
Pays on suit.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, it was like it was free. I just forgot about it because after wave beam, I got ice beam and like, oh okay, there you are. So I can go check the rest of the run, and then I just, oop, I guess the other locations don't exist anymore.
Now remind me, where was Ice Beam? I know
Uh,
Wave Beam was in Ice Ruins West.
Power chamber?
Power chamber.
Yeah.
There, thank you.
Oh, I did not get that.
Yeah, you were on your way looking for that.
Yeah, like clearly my mid game routing could use some work, but I think I would have needed. I would have needed a miracle for me to lose.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, I definitely I get you there. You really did put in a good game, but executionally, there is certainly room for improvement there.
Yeah, like obviously I don't scan dash incredibly well, and I'm sure Miguel was scan dashing all over the place.
Yeah.
They were
And Miguel is like insane with the dashes.
I've seen their echoes run, so I knew I was in for a treat today.
Yeah. There's definitely still, I think, a lot of opportunity for you in the tournament. This is just the very first match of the very first Swiss, and there's going to be what, 6 of them, 5? You've got a lot of opportunity to get into that bracket, so I'm definitely rooting for you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did not want to do exo skip, but I just decided I'm gonna roll it on a. I'm just gonna roll the dice. I just just quickly Googled yes or no, and then I came out yes. Okay, I'm doing exo skip.
Yeah, we were all kind of like, we were sitting with bated breath. We were wondering if you were going to do that or not.
Honestly, I didn't want to do it, but hey, I thought it was not my decision.
Let the internet decide, clearly.
Yeah, because I'm bad at choices.
oh, I can't wait to watch that back.
You should let me decide whether to do exo skip. My decision is yes, by the way.
It would probably be 100% yes if I had to guess.
Yeah, it is always yes.
All right, thanks for having me. I'm gonna head off now. And GG,
All right,
Won
Jhava.
the race. We'll play GG.
GG.
Yeah, GG's.
Yeah.
Good luck in your next round, Miguel.
Thanks.
Java, do you want to talk about your writing any before we start cutting?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, so, quick question. So, is Flogger required to get that spider ball item? Because I saw.
No. You can do a scannable actually, where you can actually jump up onto the spider track from a couple of different positions, and then just kind of naturally swing down onto it. I believe it is required in Logic, but basically nobody does that if they can, if they know how to do it the other way, because it's so slow.
Yeah, because clearly, like I'm a lot newer to this game than a lot of other people. So
yeah, and it's really good to see new players getting into it, which is definitely why I'm glad to see you in this tournament. There's a lot of little tricks like that that are hard to keep straight sometimes, so I don't blame you at all.
Don't worry, I don't think you're gonna face a top runner in the next round.
Yeah, and like obviously, like if I lose, I lose. Like I'm just out here to have fun. Like this was a fun time for me. So
yeah, you would definitely beat me. I'll tell you that. I'm not.
That is a fantastic mentality.
Yeah, I thought my early game was okay. I mean, honestly, I'm someone who's happy with getting the scan dash off the ship first, like second try. So that was
that was a pretty good SJF, definitely.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think because I went through that morph ball bomb location was just terrible for me because I'm not very good at.
So you're very conservative with your saves, so that was really very good. Miguel was not conservative at all. He lost like 15 minutes to not saving, so that was definitely very smart.
That's insane because I'm way more than 15 minutes behind them now, right? Excuse me, but yeah.
There's a lot of optimizations that can sort of stack up.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So again, there's several weeks worth of time for practice to take place. So I expect you'll be a very different runner by the end of the tournament. I'm expecting that much for certain.
Yeah, I hope.
Even if you literally just play the tournament games, which I wouldn't exactly recommend, that still is a lot of experience. Still has a lot of time to get better at the game.
Yeah, I think I just got to work out my mid game routing a little bit better, and then I should be okay. Maybe work out some tricks like that underwater movement with the
and just give some practice.
Yeah.
And feel free to ask around. You know, if anybody ever has any issue about any trick, we have a fantastic and welcoming community, and everybody's really, really nice, and there's a lot of knowledgeable people around here. So, regardless of whether or not you're in the tournament, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Someone will answer.
And I actually that actually goes for everybody out there watching this. If you want to get into Metroid Prime Randomizer, there's absolutely a fantastic community for that. You can join the Metroid Prime Randomizer Discord. There's a lot of fantastic people there. It's very easy to get started with Randomania. I really recommend that to anybody who can get the image off their disc to try playing NPR a bit.
Yep, you can find the Discord linked there. If you just type in !NPR, you'll find all the links you need.
And support exists for Prime and Echoes. Both of them are very, very fun.
Yeah, they're fantastic. As well as Metroid Dread, we also have some experimental games along with Corruption, Super Metroid, and Samus Returns.
Yeah, I need to get back to Super. I'm developing that, but I've been putting that off. Dread is what I'm really excited for, though. Multi-world for that is going to be coming pretty soon, which is going to be very, very, very nice. Even just standalone Dread Randomizer, it's really impressive how fast they got that out. It's really a lot of fun.
Well, that being said, do we have any last comments?
No, just thanks for commentating and tracking, and hopefully I'll see everybody soon. And shout out to Jeff, who already sent me a Ruin Fountain method to get that item, so thank you for that. That was super.
Oh, that's actually really nice.
He also helped set up this stream, I should notice. He's been a big helper of the Prime Randomizer community in terms of SpeedGaming setup. Just wanted to give him a thanks.
And I guess I'll take the chance to take care of plugs right now. MrMiguel, I'm pretty sure streams. Digglewrath, I definitely know that she makes some content. What about the rest of you? Do you guys do much?
I do. I'm a big Prime fan.
Do you stream at all? You know, like, should people go follow your Twitch?
I mean, yeah, you could if you want. I do represent.
I'd also like to thank Bruh Inc., who is one of our other trackers.
Yes,
Digglewrath did some tracking, but Bruh also did.
Yeah, thank you for tracking, folks. We appreciate it. And thank you to my co-commentator, Pia, for doing a fantastic job this race.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Also, it's just Pierre, you know. Like, as in, like,
okay.
the physical structure. I'm not, like, named Pierre in real life or anything like that.
Okay, I thought it was all fancy. You know?
Yeah, that's fine. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for now. We'll definitely see you all later. Be sure to come back for the race at 6:30. That's gonna be a really good one. I'm only tracking on that one, but the races are both gonna be really fun to watch.
Yep, and we have plenty more lined up for this week and the next week.
Yes. I can actually go over to the schedule. We also have a race tomorrow at 1 p.m. And there's another one at Wednesday at 3 p.m. And there's going to be plenty more as well. We'll tell you about those in future.
19
but for now,
races.
Yeah, a lot. For now, though, we'll see you next mission.
Yep, we'll see you next mission, folks. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everyone.